friends, Shay here. So I am here to do a recommendation video for you. So in this one, we're basically doing, if you like this trope, try this manga. That's what I'm calling this video. But we're going to talk more about like general broad categories of things. There will be some like specific tropes, but these are things that we're just gonna go with. So let's start with Steamy Manga. I get asked about Steamy Manga recs all the time, so I'm gonna talk to you about some of my favorites. I have made sure that there is queer representation throughout, so there should be at least one queer title in each of these categories, and there are 7 categories. So let's go. So first up, we're gonna talk about Ladies on Top. This is my favorite in all of the Steam ships that have come out. Let us hope and pray we are not being peg baited with this series, but essentially we have a hero and a heroine who in the bedroom don't feel like they fit into the stereotypical roles of the man dominating the woman. He wants to be dominated by her. He watches porn of pegging and gets off on it. He's brought this up to previous girlfriends. It's not gone over well. When he brings it up to his current girlfriend, she's like, okay, I'm open to this. And that's kind of all we get in the first volume. I cannot wait for more. It's going to be amazing. Yes, Your Majesty. Hi. Do you want to come say hi to the people? Or are you just going to be a loud, whiny brat? Okay, let me film my video then. Next up on the list is Fire in His Fingertips. If you're looking for a good smutty time, Fire in His Fingertips is where it's at. Do know that it does have the trope of the woman not clearly saying yes, she is saying no, but she means yes, kind of a thing. It's a thing in Japan. Women are not supposed to desire sex. It's a cultural trope. So do know that going in, because that makes some people uncomfortable. It made me uncomfortable in the beginning until I did some research on it and learned that that's a traditional, like that's in Japan culturally, that's kind of how it is. So, all right, but it is a good smutty time. He's a firefighter. She's gorgeous. We love to see it. All right, next up on the list is Yakuza Lover. This is a very heavily sexually charged, insta-lust almost kind of series, but there is a bigger overarching story because he is a Yakuza boss. And it's amazing. I actually really love it. There's significant chunks of time where they are not together, but they're like calling and texting and things. And there's a sense of urgency every time they're together because what he does is so dangerous, and so it could be the last time they see each other, and they definitely live their life as if it's the last time they're seeing each other, and it's really fun. I really enjoy it. Would definitely recommend. Next up on this list is Birds of Shangri-La. This is an all-male brothel in which a man named Apollo, who is straight, comes in to basically be a person who prepares the men in the brothel for their clientele, getting them all loose and ready to go so no one gets hurt or injured. This is a very exclusive brothel where if any of the people who work at the brothel are mistreated, the person is banned from the brothel forever. So they are all there of their own choosing. No one is forced to be there. They can leave at any time if they don't want to do it anymore. And it's really well done. I really enjoy it. There's 2 volumes of this one out so far, and it's great. And then last on my steamy is Our Teachers Are Dating. It's not the steamiest, but I don't have a lot of really good steamy Yuri that I really love at this point. There's other steamy Yuri out there, but I don't necessarily love them. Their dynamics are weird. So I'm putting Our Teachers Are Dating in there, even though it's not the steamiest, but they are a really sweet couple. They're like the sweat and soap version of a Yuri couple, and I love them. So yes, we're going to leave that there. All right, the next category is sweet. So these are going to be really sweet, low steam kinds of mangas. So first up on the list is Honey So Sweet. This is one of my all-time favorite shoujos. This is an 8-volume series in which we're following a guy who looks like a delinquent because he dyes his hair and his ears are pierced. And he received a kindness from our heroine. So he comes with a giant bouquet of flowers asking to date her. She says yes, afraid that he would be upset if she said no. and they enter into a dating relationship and get to know each other better. It's the sweetest thing. I love it. Next up is The Galaxy Next Door. This is a really cute series by the same person who does Sweetness and Lightning, which I believe is later on this list. But in this one, we have an alien princess who has come down, and she now is kind of entering the human world and comes across this young man, and he raises his two siblings because their parents are died. Their parents have passed away, and he draws manga to support them. And she comes in and starts working as his assistant, and they're just really, really cute. There is a weird, like, forced proximity thing early in the series, but that does taper down a lot in the second volume. I've got the third volume in front of me. I plan on reading it soon. So yes, very cute series. I quite enjoy it. Next, I have Yagi the Bookshop Goat. This is about a little goat who works at a bookshop, and he eats the books, and his wolf boss, and the dynamic between the two of them. This is just really sweet and really cute. I'm not going to say any more. Definitely check it out. The next one I have on this list is Manly Appetites. Y'all know I love Manly Appetites. Minagishi is the perfect love partner for any chubby person, and the way he treats Otsu is really, really sweet. I really love their dynamic. This is a 3-volume complete series, and they're adorable. I love them. Next, the last for this category is The Girl I Want Is So Handsome. So it's essentially about this girl fawning over her female senpai, and about how they start to develop a romantic relationship together. It's super cute. It's just contained in one omnibus, so I'm not going to say too much, but definitely check this one out. It is super, super cute. The next trope / category I've got here is Marriage of Convenience. I get asked about Marriage of Convenience tropes all the time. So first up, we have My Happy Marriage. I love My Happy Marriage. This is an arranged marriage situation in which she has basically been cast out by her family. He has yet to take a fiance. Usually anyone who's a potential fiance stays with him for 2 to 3 days, and they take off running because he's mean to them. But this girl has been so badly treated by her family that she takes everything he throws at her in stride, and things go from there. It's really sweet. I really enjoy this one, but there is a heavy, like, political almost feel to this one as well, with the maneuverings of her family and some things like that. And there are some secrets from her birthright that are going to come to the front soon. So I'm very excited about that. The next one I have here is I Want to Be a Wall. This is about an asexual heroine. So she has no sexual attraction to anyone. And the man she's married to is in love with his male best friend. And she ships them together, and it's adorable. I love it. I cannot wait for volume 2. I really enjoy the series. It's still ongoing in Japan. We don't know how long it's going to be, but I love it. I love it so much. The next on the Marriage of Convenience side of things is Spy Family. So Yor and Lloyd enter a marriage of convenience. Because Lloyd is a spy, he's trying to put this family together to infiltrate and save his country. And Yor is an assassin who has to protect what she does. And they also have a adopted daughter named Anya, who's clairvoyant and knows the truth of both of them, even though they're trying to keep it from her. And it's amazing. I love it. Such a fun series. Definitely going to have more action than my other Marriage of Convenience or arranged marriage kinds of stories here. So yes. Next we have Haru's Curse. Haru's Curse is a josei series in which the fiance of her dead sister approaches her about them entering a marriage of convenience because it's something their parents had set up when he got engaged to her sister. And he's like, we shouldn't disappoint our parents. Let's still do this. We learn more about things as the series goes on. I'm not going to say too much, but Haru's death and their time together definitely hangs over both of them. So do know that going in. Trigger warning for grief and loss of a family member, but it is a solid series and I really love it. And the last one I have here is A Bride's Story. This isn't necessarily Marriage of Convenience. This is more arranged marriage, but I really enjoy this. So we have a 20-year-old heroine and a 12-year-old boy. They are not sexual at all at this point. They sleep in the same, like, set of furs of course, but nothing sexual is happening between them. The most there's been is a kiss, and they do it to keep their clans happy, essentially. So things go from there. I'm not going to say too much. This is a historically driven series, and say what you want about the age gap, but again, it is historically accurate for its time period. The art in this is absolutely fantastic. It's one of my all-time favorite series. Do not judge it until you try it, in my opinion. And yeah, the next grouping I have here is isekai. So this is where a modern person, usually from Japan, gets transported into another world or into another time period, and they have to kind of maneuver things that way. So I've got quite a few here. So the first one I have is The Other World's Books Depend on the Bean Counter. Y'all know I love Bean Counter. Essentially, this man gets drug in with this other woman into this other world. He was basically an extra. Nobody planned on him. The kingdom's like, we'll set you up forever. Here you go. And he's like, no, put me to work. The other title that we've seen is, it technically translates to The Corporate Drones Books. The Other World's Books Depend on the Corporate Drone. So essentially, he's just driven to work all the time, and it's about how he accidentally does something, and there are consequences for that. And so this high-ranking guard ends up taking care of him, and it's so good. I cannot wait for more. The next one I have here is The Savior's Book Cafe Story in Another World. This one's going to have 5 volumes in total, and we've got 4 out already. Essentially, this woman is approached by a god of another world saying, hey, I need you to come in and clean up this mess for me. She's like, I won't clean up the mess, but I'll go. And he's like, do you have any questions? She's like, okay, am I limited to one question? He's like, well, I've never been asked, so no. And essentially, she gets the whole magical lay of the land, and she can do any sort of magic she wants. And all she wants to do is sit in this cafe, read books, and feed people. That's all she wants. And then a high-ranking guard of the royal kingdom comes, and she puts healing into all of her food, and so he feels stronger and better, and he starts to fall for her. It's super cute. I love it. Next on the list is Accomplishments of the Duke's Daughter. In this one, we have an isekai kind of situation where she goes into her favorite otome game, so like a dating sim kind of game. She knows how things are supposed to go, and so she kind of takes the high road and starts to become independent and work for herself on the outskirts of the kingdom because she was quote unquote shunned by the prince. And it's very good. I really love it. There's a lot more politically going on here. I'm not going to say too much, but yes, very, very good. The next one I have on this list is Magic Artisan Dahlia. This one is a modern Japanese woman who ends up transported into this other world. She starts to build and design mechanisms like blow dryers and all those kinds of things. It's a very industrial age kind of era in the world that she gets put in. She has this fiance that her dad kind of set up after her dad passes away. This fiance basically says, I'm breaking up with you because I've been seeing someone else for all this time, blah, blah, blah. And things move forward from there. I'm not going to say too much, but it's very, very fun, very interesting, and I really love it. And then the last isekai I have is something that I desperately want reprinted, and that is Red River. You can read this digitally. The manga volumes digitally are very inexpensive, but if you're trying to find physicals, it gets very pricey very fast. In this one, we have a Japanese woman who's transported back to almost like Egyptian times, and she's summoned there by a witch. That ends up causing problems for the witch and things like that. I'm not going to say too much, but she basically ends up in the lap of a prince and things go from there. So I'm not going to say too much, but yes, Red River is a trip. I really enjoy it. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Please try to find it digitally because it's amazing. And we need more people to buy it digitally so that they want to reprint it physically. Okay, next we have Slice of Life. So first up on my Slice of Life list is going to be Sweetness and Lightning. This is about a widower and his daughter. He doesn't know how to cook. She misses her mom's cooking, but he has a student at his school who thrives on cooking, and they have an arrangement where he can come use their industrial kitchen and learn from her. Sumugi, the daughter, is always there. It's really cute. I really love it. It's a 12-volume series, very Slice of Life, very cooking-centric. I love it. It's so, so cute. Next, we have BL Metamorphosis. This is one of my favorite slice of life series of all time. This is a 5-volume series in which we have an elderly woman who discovers BL and falls in love with it. She ends up bonding with a teenage bookseller over their love of the same series, and it's adorable. They have a beautiful friendship, and I really, really enjoyed the series. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Again, it's a very short 5-volume series. Next up here, I have Komi Can't Communicate. This is the epitome of slice of life. We have Komi, who can't talk because she is so nervous about saying the wrong thing. She has a hard time talking to people, and the friendships that she makes along the way. We start with her friendship with Tadano, and Tadano just takes the time to watch her write things out and is patient with her because she wants to talk, but she's afraid to talk. And so they start to form a friendship. It's pretty romantic between the two of them, and I quite love the series. A lot of people drop off after volume like 5 or 6 because it starts to feel too samey, but I would say stick it through. I think it gets better as it goes on, but it's one where you shouldn't read them all at one go because it will feel very samey. I would space it out between other things. Next on my list is Cherry Magic. I don't know if it's technically slice of life, but it feels very slice of life to me. Essentially, we have a man who turns 30 and can now read people's minds. And he finds out that one of his coworkers has had the hots for him for a very long time because his coworker has fantasies about him. And he sees them. And it's about them developing a romantic relationship and him being afraid of sharing the fact that he can hear his thoughts with his partner, and it's just so good. There's 5 volumes out right now. I cannot wait for more. And then last on my slice of life list here is Beastars. Beastars is a Zootopia style series, but it's darker and grittier, and we're essentially following high schoolers at Charrington Academy and the things that they have to field between carnivores and herbivores. And essentially it comes down to the fact that Legoshi, our main wolf, starts to fall in love with a white rabbit named Haru. And things kind of go from there, and decisions are made because of those things. It's really good. I really enjoy it. So would recommend. So next up, I have some Yuri titles that I really love. So these are female-female romances, and I just wanted to rec them all to you. So first up, we have Donuts Under a Crescent Moon. This is a very sweet workplace slice of life style Yuri. This girl has a crush on her senpai, but she's trying to be normal because of her family. Things continue to develop between the two of them. It's really cute. I really love it. There's only going to be one more volume. It's going to be a 4-volume series. And yes. Next, I have Monologue Woven for You. This is a really interesting Yuri in which we have 2 girls who meet up in college. Acting and stuff is a big part of the story. Essentially, the younger one saw the older one acting in high school, but the older one has given up on acting. The younger one's goal is to get her back into acting, so there is that weird dynamic there, but the relationship that the two of them have is really, really sweet, so I recommend that one. Next, I have Catch These Hands. This is a really cute Yuri about these 2 women who get reacquainted. They used to be on opposite sides of a fight. One was a delinquent and the other pretended to be a delinquent, so she got to interact with her, and they get reacquainted as she's trying to change her look. The delinquent centered one is trying to smooth out her look a bit, and she comes into the department store where our heroine works, and things develop and go from there. It's really cute. I really like it. Next, I have Whisper Me a Love Song. This is a really cute high school centered series in which we have a girl who makes music and the girl who crushes on her, and they develop a relationship. It's more involved than that, but it's really, really cute, and I really love it. Then I have A White Rose in Bloom. This is from the same person who does Classmates. This one is like a boarding school, all female, and there's the White Rose, the blonde girl on this cover here. Everybody lusts after her and thirsts after her, and our heroine, the brunette on this cover, ends up having innocent interactions with her, and things kind of move forward from there. It's really cute. I really enjoy it. Would recommend. Okay, the last category / trope that I have here is living together. So whether that's a boarding house or like step siblings, that's kind of what we're talking about here. So the first one I have here is a step sibling romance, and that is Mint Chocolate. They did not start living together as step siblings until they were already in high school. The guy has had feelings for her for a while, and things kind of go from there. The dynamic is really cute. They are trying to keep it from their parents because they don't want to make their parents uncomfortable, but I really enjoy it. It's a really interesting and fun dynamic for me. Next, I have Love Nest. This is this one troublemaker guy needs to get put up by someone because he doesn't have anywhere to live. And this guy's like, oh, I have this house, go live there. And there's someone else there as well. And so they end up living together. I'm being very vague in my descriptions here. I did talk about this recently in a volume 1 video, so I will leave that linked in the corner if you want more details on Love Nest. Next, I have Shortcake Cake. This is a boarding house romance in which our heroine lived 2 hours away from the school that she was attending. So she actually ends up moving into the boarding house so she doesn't have 4 hours of commute every day. And it's about the 2 boys in the house who end up having feelings for her and how things go from there. And it's very good. There's very interesting family dynamics on the hero side in this particular series, and it's just so good. I would definitely recommend it. It's a 12-volume series. And then I have Living Room Matsunaga-san. This is another boarding house thing, but there is a big age gap here. They're about 10 years apart in age. But this is a really sweet dynamic. She ends up moving into her uncle's boarding house, but our hero, Matsunaga, is the one basically running the house because the uncle is out and about and traveling all the time. And it's this very innocent growing of a budding relationship. He doesn't really take her age into consideration. He just runs around in his underwear all the time, running around shirtless. Once he starts to develop feelings for her, that happens a little bit less, but it's really good. I really enjoy it. Not for everybody. It's an 11-volume series, but I really enjoyed it. And then last on my list is LDK. This is Living Dining Kitchen. LDK is about a girl who's living on her own. She finds out that the dreamboat at school is going to move in next door. There's an accident that happens that they both kind of cause where the wall between their 2 apartments essentially goes down. And it's going to take a while to get fixed, so they end up living together. And they start developing a romantic relationship. This is 18 volumes deep right now. It's up in the 20s in Japan, and I don't think it's complete yet. It's an ongoing one. It's a long one, but it's a really fun one. I do know this one is available on KU as well. So those are my recommendations for you. If you're here just because you love me, leave me your favorite emoji down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Was it all just a dream, just all in my